Okay, here we go. We are recording. So we are in Drupal Easy office hours, March 25th, 2021. And I was going to do a couple of demos, both of them based on contrib modules that I've recently covered in Drupal Career Online. So the first one is the insert module, which I've been, I really like the insert module. I've liked it for a long time. And I had a comment from one of my students that with the core recommended template, composer template, it's not super easy. You can't add the insert module the normal way. So I just wanted to go through that. So before I even scroll down, I have a site up and running. I am going to, I'm using ddev. So I'm actually going to change my ddev configuration to use Composer 2. So to do that, Composer version 2, you just have to, add the 2 in there. And I'm just going to do that because I know that this is a new site. I know it's all compatible with Composer 2. It'll just speed things up. So you do a ddev restart, and this will take a moment because I also have some, I have a post start install hook, or a post start hook, I guess I should say, that installs WebP, or WebP compatibility. So we'll see all that fly by here in a second while it restarts. So that's what's happening right now. You can see it's executing post start hook. So the first thing I do is a sudo apt-get update. And then I do a sudo apt-get install -y webp. Now this has nothing to do with the demos we're doing today. I just figured there we go. Okay, so, and then this is the site that we have up and running. All right, we don't need to see that. So if we wanted to install the insert module, ddev composer required Drupal/insert, this would be the way you would expect to do it. And we get this. The requirements cannot be resolved to an installable set of packages. And it says Drupal insert 1.0 requires Drupal core 8. But we have Drupal core 9.1.5. So therefore, it can't install insert because insert says, no, you must have 8, but we have 9. So we're like, what's up with that? So if we go over to the insert module and we scroll down now, we can see that there is a beta for 8.x 2.0. And notice there's no mention of an 8.x 1.0 anywhere. If you go into view all releases, it's probably going to be in there somewhere. Yeah, there it is, 8.x 1.0 beta. But that's actually been taken off the main page as a release. So what we want is this 2.0 beta. But why didn't, I guess the question is, when we did this, why didn't Composer ask for 2.0 instead of 1.0? Well, the reason is because by default, the recommended project is only going to look for stable releases. It prefers a stable release. And the latest stable release, I guess, is 1.0. So let's specifically ask it for 2.0 and see what happens. All right, so we'll just say, oops, put a colon there. Give us, the latest, in the 2.x branch. So let's try that, see what happens. And you're going to see it's not going to work because we're saying that we want that, but it doesn't see any stable releases. It does not match our minimum stability. I wish it would say it does not match your minimum stability of stable. That would be a little bit more helpful here. But our minimum stability by default with core recommended is stable. And there's only alphas and devs, and actually only alphas and devs. And actually there's a beta here. I don't know why I found dev to alpha. Oh, well, there's ... So somewhere in here, there's the beta. So we have to specifically say we want a beta. So what we can do is we can do 2.x at beta, or I always forget the syntax. I always end up, I think that might work. we're basically saying, okay, give us anything. And actually, now that I think about it, this might actually work. Give us anything off the two, the two major version. Oh, geez. But allow the betas are better. So this won't allow an alpha, but it will allow a release candidate. So I think that might be the right syntax. So let's try that. Sure enough, that works. So that allows us to install 2.0 beta 2. 2.0. So because Drupal is transitioning from this old style 8.x being the major Drupal version, newer modules or modules who maintainers choose drop basically the 8.x. So some modules you'll see like just a version 2.0.0 release. We're kind of in the middle of that transition and there's no timeline on it. So Composer just sees it though as 2.0.0. But now we have insert. So if we come over here, we go to extend. Insert. All right, so let's go ahead and just do a quick demo of the insert module. Okay, so we're going to enable it. And let's just go ahead and we'll do this on the article content type, since that has both an image field and a body and a WYSIWYG. Because the whole idea is that you can upload an image through an image field, but then stick it in the WYSIWYG at your leisure. So if we go to manage form display, we still want a focal point there. Manage it. I always forget where we have to. Now let's see, where do we actually set that to use insert? Is it here? Required field. All right, clearly it's been a little while since I've configured this. Image, it's not a field. Sorry, let me look here. I don't think it provides a new field type, right? All right, well, let's just work through this. If I go to article, let me just add an image just for the heck of it. I don't think it's going to do anything because I think I'm missing something still. How about I do, I'm going to not do Batman. I'm going to move off my normal. Or how about this? Here's a 5-year-old picture of my dog back when she was a lot thinner. Hello? Why can't I drag and drop that? That annoys me. All right, where am I? Dropbox. Test images. Stella looking majestic. There we go. Yeah, so, okay, so there should be, eventually there'll be some insert buttons here, but where am I missing this in the interface now? All right, let me go back to extend. Compatible to any file. Oh, I wonder if it's, hold on, maybe I do know where it is. Content type, article, manage form display. Is it in here? Maybe it's not compatible with focal point. Maybe that's our problem. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. That was all. It's not compatible with focal point. So that's kind of a bummer. I didn't know that. Okay. So here we go. In the widget, we get this. And this basically says that we are, if we select any of these options, we're allowed to insert this image into the body field as any of the selected image styles. So let's just keep this simple. Let's say we want to only allow medium and large image styles. So the default style we will just say is large. Automatic. So no, let's just stick with large here. Select the style of the image shall link to, do not link. Let's not worry about this other stuff. Let's definitely do alignment controls, and let's not worry about rotation controls. Okay, so let's do that and hit save. All right, so if I reload this and I reselect, okay, so now we have these options. So what does that mean? So if we come up here, and Ipsum, I'll put some Ipsum text, and then we'll do insert demo for a title. And let's say we want to put Stella's image here, right before it's not who I am underneath. So we can come over here and say, let's align it to the right, and let's use the medium image style. Oh, we need to put some alt text. So Stella. And now we can insert that. And it inserts that into the WYSIWYG, as, on the right, medium image style, and save. And of course, okay, well, yeah, okay, a couple things happen. Number one, we're not seeing it being output, and I know the reason for that, but we are seeing it being output here. So let's talk about those two things. Number one, the image field is still an image field. So that's still going to output in the normal flow of things, unless we tell it not to. So we're going to hide the image field from display in default, which is going to be full content. So that's step one. So that'll get rid of this big image up top. But we're still not, we got a little broken image there. And the reason for that is, if we look at the source, we have image, alt, and all of these, attributes, which basic HTML is not cool with. So let's try doing this the right way. So I'm actually going to copy this just so we have that tag. And let's go to our text formats and editors. Let's go to basic HTML and go to configure. And so we're not going to mess with this. We'll leave this image button here in case you want to add an image directly to the WYSIWYG without going through that image field, which seems kind of redundant, but whatever. But let's come down here and let's see, is there an image tag here? So there is image, so there is a bunch of stuff. So I'm not sure why. So I'm just going to paste this to look. I wish I missed it. Let's see. So image is allowed, alt is allowed. So data align is allowed. Data entity type is allowed. Data entity UUID is allowed. Height SRC, and width. So it looks like everything is allowed. All right, so maybe I don't know what's going on. Let's just double check here. I mean, it's working there. It's basic HTML. So let me go back here. I wonder if CK Editor is doing something with the path. Alt image. Oh, okay. So image removed. So CK Editor is doing something. So I bet you it has to do with one of these settings. It could be text. I wonder if it's this restrict images on this site. I'm going to uncheck that one, which seems like I shouldn't have to do that, but let's see what happens. Yeah. So I'm not crazy about that, because clearly this is still on the site. It's not using an absolute path there. But I think that that setting actually, let's go back and look at it when we're editing. Yeah, for some reason, that filter disallows use of image tags, sources that are not hosted on this site by replacing them with a placeholder image. So I feel like this filter is doing more than what it's saying. It's basically disallow the usage of image tag that hasn't been added by this button, which I don't think is fair, but it is what it is. So now, since I'm, well, okay, so I'm going to say, okay, that's the demo, right? I'm going to say that's insert module because we're moving into non-insert stuff. So we can come back here if we want. And, you know, if we click on that, let's delete that. Let's add it as a left justified large, right? And you get a bigger version of the image left justified. So you can kind of see how that works. I'm actually going to change it to, let me go back to the other one. So the whole point of doing it that way is you can have an image that's buried somewhere in your narrative, but you can still create a view. And this is why I like the insert module so much. You can create a view and format list of teasers, that's fine. So let's come over here, and I'm actually going to do this the right way with a view mode. So I'm going to modify the teaser. So even though, oh, I don't want to use layout builder though. Save. So even though that image is in the narrative of the body, it's still a separate image field. So I can still add it to the teaser, trim this down. Smart trim is good here because it lets me filter out HTML as well. So I would probably use smart trim if I was doing this for real. So show the teaser. Right, so it still lets me access that, and maybe it's better, well, still lets me access that image on its own as opposed to having to figure out how to get to it somewhere in the middle of a body field. So it gives us the best of both worlds. So that's what I like about it. All right, so I do want to look at, I'm going to take 2 minutes here, see if I can't figure this out. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just do a quick search for that setting and see if anything pops up. Otherwise, I'll copy that. I'm going to come here. I'm going to paste that in the search. You're kidding me. Wow. So no one once has mentioned that you can't use this with this. All right, well, if I have time later, I might actually open up an issue just to ask about that. All right, but anyway, let me pull myself out of the rabbit hole. That's insert module. All right, so any questions about that? Or should I just keep on yapping? Keep on yapping. All right, so let's do slick views. I think it's slick underscore views. Yeah, okay, so let me get this going here. ddev composer required Drupal / slick views. All right, so while that's going, all right, so slick views, it basically gives you a carousel But you can have a carousel of one, which is a slideshow, right? So this is basically a slideshow. That's a carousel of one. Here is a carousel, a traditional carousel. And then this is a responsive one. I guess I don't know why they're not all responsive, but you know, if I switch to my thing. Variable width, so that one's kind of cool. Adaptive height. Wow, okay. Data attribute settings, center mode, so all kinds of cool stuff. Lazy loading, that's cool. So I believe it uses Blazy. And Blazy is a dependency. So let me talk about Blazy real quick. Blazy is a JavaScript library, actually a really small one. Be lazy is basically how you pronounce it. And a lot of Drupal 8 and 9 sites use this because what it does is it allows your images to be lazy loaded. And it works all with JavaScript. So basically, maybe I should install this one first on its own just to show you how that works. It basically makes it like when you go to a page with images, like there's some images down here, it won't load the images below the scroll until you scroll up. So it allows the page to render a lot faster. So yeah, let's yeah. So we actually got Blazy there. So look at that, there's three there. So we slick views, but a dependency on slick and a dependency on Blazy. So let's look at Blazy first. I don't know if I've ever actually played with Blazy on its own. So let's just do a ddev drush en -y Blazy. So we'll get that enabled. And I don't know if there's configuration. We're about to find out. Status. Oh, I think we need a library as well, which I don't think we got. I guess Composer doesn't really. It's not Composer-ified. That's lame. We got to do it ourselves manually. All right, so at least one Blazy master, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so releases. Where's the latest release? All right, so I'll just click on that and I'll download it there. And I'm on my other screen, so you can't see me, but I'm uncompressing. And what's inside there? Okay, so I guess I have to, what do I need to do? So the assets are that. So I think I just need to rename it to, let's see, there needs to be libraries, Blazy. Okay, so I just need to rename this to Blazy. So the folder I downloaded is Blazy-1.8.2. So I'm just renaming that to Blazy. And now I'm just going to drag and drop that into my libraries folder. And I'll show it to you on the command line in a second. I'm just doing this on my other screen. Web. And I don't have a libraries directory yet. So I'll create one. LIBRARIS. Okay, so what did I do? So I downloaded it. And then inside of the web directory, I created a new libraries directory. Inside of that, there's now a Blazy folder. So this is the thing I downloaded. And I renamed it from Blazy-182 to just Blazy. And then inside of Blazy, oops, this is what it's ultimately going to be looking for, is that minified JavaScript file. So this is the library right there. So theoretically, if I go back to my status report, this error should go away. No, it's not. Libraries, Blazy, or any paths. Oh, maybe I have it one. Does it need to be in the root, not the Drupal root? That would be interesting, but let's try that. So I just basically moved it up one directory. I moved it up to just to the root, actually. I moved the entire libraries directory there. Not sure if that's right, but let's try it. It is not correct. Libraries, Blazy, Blazy.js. All right, so I'm going to move it back inside web. Am I on the right site? Week 3, right? Yeah, okay. Libraries, Blazy. Oh, you know what? Before I do anything else, surprised someone hasn't chimed in and told me to rebuild caches before I do anything else. Hey, John, how are you? I see you joined us. Okay, and reload now.
I'm good, thanks. Sorry, my mic was off.
No problem. Oh, okay, that's it. Rebuild caches, problems, all the problems go away. All right, so now let's go here and see if we have any type of interface. Blazy. No. The other place we can look, I mean, we could read the documentation. That seems,
Yeah, documentation, that's so blasé.
Yeah. Blazy as, oh, okay, there we go. That's all I need to see. Field formatter. Let's just do it as a field formatter. So sometimes if there is a configuration, you can come on the extend page and there might be a link down here. Oh, Blazy UI. Let's look at that. Well, actually, let's wait before we do that. Let's go to content types, article, manage display. Look at our teaser. And can we Blazy that image? Yes. All right. So let's, we don't need the UI enabled for that. So I'm not sure what the UI is going to get us. Well, it'll get us doing things other than with the formatter. And actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make these large. Whoa, look at all of that. So I'm going to make these, what's the biggest one? Max. Responsive image. Oh, this is from the responsive image. Let's not mess with that. Let me just keep all of these the default. All right, so on our home page, we're going to be trying loading the largest image of all these teasers. So let's just do that. All right, so as I scroll down to the next image, we should see it maybe a placeholder, or maybe the image will just fade in. Yeah, so you saw that one fade in? I scrolled too fast, the Batman, so that one. So as soon as it scrolls into view, it will fade in, but it won't be there. So I'm gonna try and scroll fast into this one so we can see it happen. Oh, there's not a third one. What if I reload? All right, so scroll to. All right, we're gonna try and sneak up on this next one. Ready? Boom. Yeah, so they kind of fade in. I mean, it happens pretty fast because I'm on local, but that's kind of what Blazy does. It makes it so any images not in our viewport aren't loaded. I wonder if we can see them in here. I wonder if we can see it happen in here. So if I go to content, section, region, I got to dive pretty deep. Content. There's a view, there's our view content. Okay, if I go down to this row, this article, yeah, look at that, Blazy image field. There we go. Okay, media bundle. All right, so this is the Batman. This is the Adam West Batman image. And you can see, here's our image field. Clearly it's Blazified because it's got all this stuff. And this is the actual image tag. And so you can see the SRC the current SRC is just this thing, which I think it's an SVG. So that's like a loading image. I think it's like those 3 dots. So I think as I scroll down and this image comes into view, we'll see this SRC change from this possibly to this data SRC. Looks like the Adam West as Batman. So I think we'll see something happen here as I scroll down. So that's not it. That's the Drupal Easy. There's the David Matthews band. Yeah, you see it happen? It switched to the Batman one. So that's Blazy in action. So it saves a lot of bandwidth. Just Blazy. So let's not, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of the Blazy UI. Let's just, let's not even enable that. But that's basically what Blazy does. But you can do it with images. You can do it with media entities and other things. So I did
Hey,
want
Mike, when
Yeah.
you were scrolling through stuff before, I saw adaptive height as one of the options for the slideshow.
Yeah.
Is that hopefully against, what do you call it? Good recommended site stuff? Because one of the things when I see, and maybe it's mostly with ads, but it constantly adjusting the position. You're trying to read an article and they're flipping through ads or flipping through pictures, and the page is constantly changing. And when
Yeah.
you're trying to read the page and it's doing that, it just drives me nuts.
Yeah, I think a lot of that actually has to do with lazy loading, to be honest. I notice it on the BBC News site all the time, which is, actually, it's like, go to it all the
I mean,
time.
I think with ads, they're doing it because if you tap or click on the next page button or things like that, things are so slow, and all of a sudden the ad will pop into view and you'll accidentally click on the ad. So I don't know if it's them trying to increase their clicks,
I don't think so.
but it just drives me nuts because can't you pre-allocate like a section on the screen so that even different size things don't adjust the block size?
You should be able to, but I don't think it's, maybe it is nefarious. I don't think it's where the site, owners are trying to get you to click on ads by accident. I just think it's all about that time to start engaging with the page. You want that to be as small as possible. So what happens is, they load the structure of the page, they populate the content, and then after all that's done, then the images, then the ads come in. So when I reload this, you'll actually see what happens. It's pretty slick the way they do it, although it is annoying. This article over here will actually start off where this ad is for like a split second. And then when this ad comes in, they're using some type of brick grid system where this ad takes up the space and pushes this one down to the next one.
Yeah,
So-
I've noticed ESPN does that too, and it's kind
Right.
of annoying sometimes because it'll keep loading stuff in, and you keep getting pushed down the page.
Yep. It is annoying. It gives you a very fast time to, get the content loaded. But yeah, you see that everything just shifted down with this. And on some sites it's worse than others, especially when they have big banners that pop in and push everything down.
Yeah, but I'm not referring to when it's loading. I'm referring to once the page is loaded, they're constantly swapping in stuff and it's constantly adjusting the
I haven't seen
where
that
things
as well.
are at on the screen. And granted, a lot of where I've noticed it are on the clickbait kind of, things that you can click on from other sites and stuff. But
Right.
that's why I think it might be them trying to get you to accidentally click an ad. But
Yeah,
Right.
stay out of those chat rooms.
Yeah.
no chat rooms, no.
All right, let's
No, it's
move on. We're falling into a rabbit hole. I'm going to pull this out because we're almost an hour in. And I want to make sure I leave plenty of time for non-demo stuff here. So let's look at Slick Views. And specifically, I just want to look at integration with views. I think you can do a standalone carousel with Slick. I'm not going to care about that right now. I don't know if the UI, I don't think the UI is going to be necessary for the views. Maybe it is. So let's just try and install just Slick Views and see if maybe Slick will also be required. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. So we need Slick. So that's fine. Enable them both. Okay. So I think based on the home page, we have 1, 2. Let me get rid of this. This doesn't have an image, so delete that. That's from our text format discussion. All right, so we do have 3 articles with 3 very different size images. Look at that, 3 of my favorite things. Look at that. Batman, Dave Matthews Band, and my dog. That's pretty lucky. I throw a Star Wars thing in there, we're good to go. All right, so let's go to structure. Structure, views, add view. I'm gonna close this tab over here, and then we'll do slick views demo. Content of type article. Let's do a page. And do we have a format yet? Yes, we do. Look at that. We have a slick grouping, a Blazy grid. I don't know what a slick grouping is. I can assume a Blazy grid is same as a grid, only with lazy loading. So that's kind of cool. But let's do slick carousel. And let me start with, we're probably going to have to, stuff like carousel, sometimes you have to do with fields. So let's do it with fields. We only have 3, so this doesn't matter. So let's just save and edit. And I know with MidCamp, Amy June is not going to be here, but Amy June would be a good person to help us. I'm curious how accessible it is out of the box. And Amy June's a good person to help us navigate that. So I don't know if we need to really do anything. Well, we'll probably have to go to settings here and tell it which field. Well, we'll probably have to add the image field. Let's start with that. So let's add the image field, add and configure, image style. Let's just go, I don't know what slick media is. I do want something that's scale and cropped though. So I don't know how big square is going to give us. So let me open this in a new tab so we can look at our image styles. What's square give us? Focal point scale and crop 400 by 400. Not huge, but I think it's enough. So let's just go with that one. Link image to the content. Hit apply. And we'll use a title as the caption. So if we go to settings here, we should check vanilla if using custom content. Okay, no, we are using fields. All right, option set. Oh boy, maybe we should read the documentation. Let's just stick with default values. Main stage, okay. Thumbnail, none, none. Title, go with image title. Link, we'll leave that. Caption bottom. No, we don't have a cat. Fit that. Let's leave that off. Oh, that's interesting. Let's leave that off for now. Let's just try that. I don't like the way the interface looks so different than the rest of views or Drupal for that matter, but that's me being picky, I think. Okay, I don't know why there's all that space, but that could just be because the library isn't fully loaded here. So let me save and let's just go to the page and see what happens. Okay, well, clearly, clearly we've got a lot of blank space. I'm not sure what that is underneath each image. That's
not
probably
quite as slick as you want.
Okay, so it's not on the image, it's on this thing. It's on this div, which has
It says padding bottom 100%.
Bottom 100%.
Yeah, but why would it set that? I mean, I'm not seeing a carousel, right? I expect to see these things in a carousel. So let me just, again, I want to do one more, just in case there's a library that we have to install. Because 2 errors, there is a library. That's the whole problem. Unbelievable that neither Slick nor Blazy installs the library with Composer. So that's lame. All right, so library, Slick, Carousel. So 2 of them. We need Slick, Carousel, and Slick. Ah, that's annoying.
You shouldn't be surprised with Slick if their interface doesn't follow Drupal.
Yeah, well, there should be some type of, well, all right, I'm not gonna. All right, so let's download that. And then I also needed, oh, it's an or. Or. Okay, so we have one. So again, I'm gonna go off screen here and I'm gonna set it up off screen, then I'll just show you what I did. So I'm gonna uncompress. And inside of that is slickmin.js. slick/slickmin.js. Okay, I got that. All right, so I have to rename this to Slick. And then I will move it into the same folder next to Blazy. All right, so let me show you what I did. ls-il web/libraries. So I downloaded a Slick directory. It was compressed. I uncompressed it. I renamed it to Slick. Inside of that is another Slick. Inside of that is our Slick min.js. So it's libraries, Slick min.js, libraries, Slick min.js. So if I reload, I probably have to clear caches again. No, that time I don't have to. All right, let's see if it just works now. Let's see if I rebuild caches and it just works now. No. Well, it's kind of working. All right, so clearly there's some setting that I have failed to accurately set properly. So let's go back in here. Feel free to skin. Oh, well, let's try one of these. Let's try default. I don't know, thumbnail. I'm going to pick default wherever possible. See if we get any love down here. We still are getting just these gigantic.
Did you have any mismatch between your image sizes, like between the, what was the one thing, 300 by 300 and then like a
No, because they're all being
large?
cropped. They're all being cropped.
Yeah, but I thought you had a large somewhere in there.
Oh, yeah, and here I did. So this is main stage. Let's see, what's the help? Main background stage. You may want to new. Let's switch it to that. Overlaid media. What's this? All right, not for audio video. All right, let's just try that. Again, this is where documentation would probably help a lot. Okay, so clearly I think we need something on the main stage. Let's try both set content image. I really should. If using comment, not fields. Okay, we are using fields, so I'm not going to. Enable the option set UI module to. I hate just setting stuff that I don't know what it does, but that's where we're at. Maybe it's a skin issue, which sounds creepy. I didn't do anything weird here, right? Formatter, square, link content. Oh, the horror. I'm going to have to go to the documentation. Nobody has any ideas? Very disappointed.
I told you mine.
What was yours?
And just a difference between the sizes of the is there on the image, did you give it like a large size, and then on the slideshow you gave it the square? I'm
No,
just saying mismatch between
No,
definitions
there's
somewhere.
I don't think there's any setting here for an image style.
Not on the main content field?
On the main content field, but that's the only place. And I set that as the square. Right, but there's no image style settings in here. Right? We got some weird caption thing. What did I set? Caption center. Let's just do caption top. Oh, we're gonna have to go to documentation. Oh, I don't like that at all. No, not doing that. Caption. No, let's just do caption bottom. All right, well, let me save. I'm gonna go to the page, make sure it's just not like a views interface thing. And then we'll look at documentation. Look what you make me do. Flip views, right? Plural.
Can you try changing the image style within the content type itself? It's like it's pulling the large, because the Batman one seems to be larger than the others. And on the original, so what I'm thinking is you maybe need to go into the structure into, and then change the image style of in the content type in the display.
But we're not using a view mode from the content type. So where would I change it where it would matter to the view?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's correctly cropping all three of these. But remember, this one's super wide. So it's cropping it and making it square 400 by 400. You know, Stella lost a little bit of her head. Batman lost his ears, I think, right? No, Batman's all there. But I think we have a focal point on Batman now that I think about it. Let me just see.
So Mike,
No.
as far as like the modules that you have enabled for this, you have Blazy UI, Slick UI, and Slick Views, correct?
I do not have Slick UI or Blazy UI enabled.
Okay. Now I was looking at this OS training I put in the chat.
I don't need views rewrite. There's no documentation. That blows. For any non-fields formats. Okay, but I am using non-fields, so I'm going to ignore that. Okay. So
Would
this
it
is all
fix
about
it if you tried that adaptive height one? Might be something to try.
What's that?
The adaptive height one and see if that changes how it shows. Because you have different images.
Okay, I'll try, but I think with the mode, where did you see the adaptive height option?
That was when you were going through your different slick view options, wasn't it? Remember when we were talking about it?
Yeah, but where did you see that in the interface somewhere? And if it's not in the interface.
No, it was in the documentation. I think when you were looking at
Yeah,
the.
I didn't see that option. I don't know how I would try that. So this, it's a lot of talk about these option sets. Choose fields, add fields, do custom works for mockup. So I'm curious, you know what I think it might be? Let me hide this title field. I'm going to exclude it from the display. But I am going to use it. I'm still going to keep using it in these settings, as the title. Oh, bummer. I really thought that was going to have an effect. All right, I guess I have to enable Slick UI.
Yeah, it looks like with Slick UI, it'll give you through configuration menu where you can adjust the option sets.
I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to try it as far as what an option set is.
Their description of an option set, it says in the first configuration screen shows the list of available Slick option sets. Image option sets as cassettes or CDs, which you can exchange in your player to get the right song in this case, the right carousel.
All right. Quite the analogy. All right, well, let's just keep this all. Let's just keep this all like this. So we have a default option set. I don't think this is going to make any difference. So now that I see this, I just think it gives us the ability to mess with more option sets. So here we go, edit. All right, because we still have default. And we go to default. Well, let me switch to, well, actually, no, let me stick with the defaults. Oh my gosh. That is annoying. Why is there so much space under there? Even getting rid of that padding bottom doesn't do diddly. Oh, you know why? Because the other slides probably, or slide cams. Yeah, the other slides probably have that same thing.
Are those left and right arrows floating, or are they like halfway down the
Well, there's two
white
of them.
space?
There's two of them. Hang on, let me. Yeah, see, this one has padding bottom as a style as well. So this is being injected. This is not coming from a style sheet. This is being written out. So I don't know what's going on with that. These are absolutely positioned relative to the container, I guess. At least those are, and probably these are the same, just why there's two sets, I don't know. Absolutely positioned as well. Grrr. User interface, where would it be? Media. Slick. What's Slick versus Slick UI? Oh, what's UI? Hold on. No, I think we want that. So how do I enable? Oh, these already are. So maybe I'll try another one. What the hell? Maybe default just sucks. Let's do full width or full screen. Let's try that. Hey, Amy June, how are you? How's mid-camp going?
It's good. I didn't see a whole lot of this group there.
No, we've been very busy. So I'm going to assume this is what they're talking about. Full screen. Oh, that actually looks better. I wonder if that's the whole problem, that the default just, wow, that's definitely full screen. And there's no scrolling. We do still have two sets of buttons though. That's kind of weird. Okay, how do I get out of this? Oh, I'll click on one. There we go. All right, so I don't think we want full screen. So I wonder if it was just that default option set just is kind of broken. No, this one looks broken too. June, you know anything about Slick Nav or Slick Views? I guess not. Well, that was kind of a bummer of a demo. I mean, I guess the other thing, let's try this. Let's try one other thing. Let's go to content types, articles, manage display, and let's just put the image. Oh, let me go teaser. Let's only output the teaser using the square. So I do Blazy here. I don't know if it's going to try and blazify both of them. So let me do that. Let me just go back to image square. All right, so now our teaser view mode. If I go to views, all right, I'm going to change this to content teaser. I'm going to come up here to settings, and I am going to use vanilla if using content, not fields. And go to default. Yeah, of course, that's going to work now. That does work much better, doesn't it? No, skin. Oh, I should hit save. I didn't hit save. That was the problem. All right, now I'll save it. Now I'll view the page. Well, it's definitely showing the teaser because we got the byline in there. Well, it's better. Not perfect, but better. All right, I think I'm going to stop the demo there just because I'm not sure where more I can take it without really diving into documentation and stuff. So there you go. It's a start. Oh, actually, Amy June, I wanted to ask you, you have a second, Amy June?
Yeah.
What's if I test this in Chrome, is Chrome the right browser to test like keyboard ability and accessibility of stuff like this?
Well, you're supposed to do it in all the major browsers.
Yeah, but Safari, I think Safari doesn't cooperate all the time with that.
No, it doesn't. I usually just do Chrome though. That's my honest answer. The other like
All right.
appropriate answer is to test in all, but I do Chrome.
All right, so if I'm in Chrome, so I'll take my hand off my mouse. Let's see if I can't. What am I doing wrong? I'm just using left and right. Do I have to click in there first?
Tab
Tab.
to it.
Thank you. Okay.
Oh, wait, back up. Refresh your page, please. Okay. I was looking for the skip to main content. You have it.
Yeah, this is just Bardic. It's just a, so it's going to be there. I haven't messed with anything yet. Okay. Oh, so that looks like if I hit enter. Oh yeah, so that works. It's not, I don't know if you can tell, but it's not a huge color change. But at least it works. It's better than a lot of carousels out there. I wonder, how do I get multiple?
It's kind of a low bar.
It is a low bar, yeah. How can I get? All right, now I'm going to try one more thing here.
It'd probably work better if you had good bands.
See, I knew it. I knew you couldn't help without somehow slamming me. I even said it before you joined. I said, I wish Amy June was here. But then I said something about you making fun of me. And then I think David said she'll find a way.
No, I think you said something about she couldn't make fun of you for something or other, and we said she'd find something.
Yeah, somebody found a way, so that's good on you.
Good bandwidth or a better computer.
Yeah. All right, well, that's it. I'm done. I'm going to stop the recording. We're done with that.
Well, Mike, you did tell me not to let Amy June in, and you're the one that let her in, so.
I would never say that about Amy June.